The wooden stage in Gulu groaned under his weight. Okello stood center, his fingers raw and split, the skin around his nails weeping thin lines of red onto the fretboard. He had been playing for 3 hours. The air in the room was thick with the smell of stale beer and damp earth. A few patrons sat at the back, their backs turned to the stage, their voices rising in a dull, constant drone that swallowed his notes. He adjusted the strap, the worn leather biting into his shoulder, and shifted his weight to find a rhythm that the room would not ignore. A man at the bar laughed, the sound sharp and jarring, cutting through the melody. Okello did not look up. He felt the vibration of the strings deep in his palms, a dull ache that mirrored the exhaustion in his legs. He stood firm. He closed his eyes, blocking out the empty chairs and the wandering patrons. He was alone, but he was ready. The first chord did not just ring. It resonated through the floorboards. Okello played, his fingers moving with a sudden, fluid precision that ignored the stinging pain in his skin. The melody shifted, deepening into a low, guttural hum that seemed to vibrate in the very air. It was not a song he had practiced. It was a sound that surged from his chest, ancient and heavy, carrying the cadence of a voice he had never heard. In the back of the room, the shadows shifted. A woman stepped forward, her hand gripping the edge of a support beam. She watched him, her shoulders trembling as she drew a thin shawl tighter against her frame. She did not cheer. She did not move toward the stage. She simply stood there, her thumb tracing the wet tracks on her cheeks. She leaned toward the empty space beside her, her lips moving. "Ojak, do you hear him?" she whispered into the dark. "Our son is singing for you." She closed her eyes, her head bowing as the music washed over her. Okello played on, unaware of the audience, his focus entirely on the sound that now filled the space. Years later, the path to the mango tree felt shorter. Okello stepped over the same gnarled roots that had once served as his childhood playground. He sat down, the dry earth dusting his trousers, and rested the guitar across his lap. The golden hour light stretched long, thin shadows across the field, illuminating the scars on his fingertips, the same ones that had bled on a wooden stage years ago. He looked at his feet, now shod in leather, and remembered the grit and heat of the road he had walked barefoot to school. The boy who once played with sticks was gone. In his place sat a man whose name reached thousands. He stood up, brushing the dirt from his legs, and looked toward the horizon where the city skyline waited.